anything Whitney told me to do, I did it, you know. So I remember the banisters. He said, slide down the banisters, and I did, and I broke out 2 teeth. And then we had a gate out front right there, and he said, get up on the gate, and I get up on the gate. He said, now, I'm going to swing you. I said, okay, and he'd swing me, and I'd fall off, and I lost 2 teeth. So I don't know why I got any teeth now, but those are stories that I definitely remember. When our dad used to whip us, Whitney didn't really show any emotions, you know, like I'd start crying, Ernie did start crying even before we got whipped. But Whitney didn't show any emotions at all, and he used to tell me all the time, don't cry, Eleanor, don't cry. You know, that's all he wants to do. He wants to make you cry, don't cry. I think he really wanted to take the whippings for us. And that's why he kept on, and he just looked him in the eye, and he kept on. And he knew that was the worst thing he could have done, was to just keep looking Dad in the eye. But I think he wanted to keep on until he was so tired he couldn't whip us. In one way, they were teaching us to be strong-willed, and we were. And then in another, they wanted us to be, in some ways, a little bit submissive, but we weren't. But we soon learned that we had enough sense to learn that it was best for our own benefits to be a little bit more submissive so that we wouldn't have to get the beatings and so forth. Mother used to carry us around to all the old folks' homes, and we'd have to clean up their homes, their outdoor toilets and all of that stuff. So we went up and down, and I remember the dad sent me to a family and they didn't have any food in the refrigerator. I came back, I told Daddy, and he had us to, Whitney and I, and he had us to go up there and bring the people here on the campus, and he made a room, he made an apartment for them to live in. The reason they didn't have any food because they had 6 kids in college, and so they weren't eating anything. So we learned all of that, and that's why we all turned out social workers, counselors, and as I say, all those kind of things, because that's what we were taught, to help people. And we saw Mother and Daddy doing it. Segregation was really bad. When we'd go, Mother would take us into Shelbyville, and we're going into the courthouse. They had, you know, like white ladies and colored women. And Mother said, we're ladies, so let's go in this one. So we always went in the ladies. She didn't pay any attention to the white and the colored part of it. And nobody ever said anything to her. I never felt inferior to anyone. And I know Whitney didn't feel inferior, or Anita. I think he did. I know he did a whole lot. I know he's responsible for a whole lot being done. But I just keep thinking of how much more could have been done if he had lived, where we'd be today, you know. Like the Marshall Plan was one of his things. If we can spend all that money overseas, he would say, why can't we spend that money right here in the United States in the ghettos and get the people out of the ghettos and off the streets and feed people, you know. So he had big plans. And maybe they didn't want him to carry out those plans, you know.